Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we discuss day-to-day problems people face in their lives. Let's start with the video. I, 25 female, and my cousin, 25 female, have been very close. Adding to that, we look very much alike, which is very obvious since most of our family has brown, red hair, while we both are blonde. Me and my cousin got married at roughly the same time. Both of our husbands are very close friends to each other, 29 and 27. In her pregnancy, we found out that we're both Rh negative. After some time, I found out that my uncle is Rh positive, which means he cannot be the father. I told my parents, who then told me that she's actually my twin sister and that she was given to my uncle and aunt who raised her as their own since my aunt is infertile, or thought to be, after an accident. It is fairly common in our culture to give a child to an infertile sibling. I was very conflicted after finding this out and told my husband, who then supposedly accidentally told my cousin's husband. Well, last week, after her doing some research on the rhesus factor, her husband is Rh positive. She also found out that her parents can't be her parents. She came to me crying and I told her everything. Shocked at everyone knowing but her and hurt by the betrayal of her husband, she asked her husband for a divorce and has ceased any contact with me. I don't know why I told her. I even had to promise my parents and my uncle and aunt to never tell her, who also won't talk to me. Everyone is blaming me and my brother-in-law is absolutely devastated. So am I the a-hole? Edit. Neither of our birthdays are real. I was born in May, she was born in June. We both knew that since we use another calendar in our country. So we literally just celebrated some random day. Apparently, we were both born on May 3rd. Also, it could be about blood type for my cousin. I found out through the Rh stuff, which is a big topic in my family for some time. She just randomly one day came to me telling me her father cannot be her father. I just assumed because of her looking about the Rh thing because she talked about it a lot. I also think her husband was leading her into the direction of her finding out, since he must have known how things work. He's a doctor. My parents obviously did not want to give away her child, but my aunt really begged for her child. She was in treatment and threatened suicide. At first, my aunt was just watching us. Eventually, she became very attached to us and asked my mother to keep one to watch. My aunt loved us both, but I always cried when my mom wasn't close. My cousin's sister didn't, so she eventually just had her. My mom was upset, but my cousin really didn't leave home. We lived in the same house back then, and now coming to the West, we don't. It wasn't her taking a child, it was a sneaking process. Also, my cousin's sister is staying at my brother's house with his wife and kids. He kinda lives far away, and my brother's wife and my cousin had been very close. She has not contacted anyone, but her husband seems better. I guess they're talking secretly. My cousin is also pregnant with twins. They run in the family. I don't know how she's feeling since after our conversation, she excused herself to the bathroom and just left. She messaged me today saying she still loves me but cannot talk to anyone, especially our and her parents. My parents and her refuse to talk to me. I feel very crappy about all of this, especially since it was really bad timing. Update. My cousin's sister just told me a lot more people knew than we thought. My grandparents, my parents, aunts, uncles, etc. It was an open secret. She also thought I must have known for longer. I did not, but she doesn't believe me. Edit 2. A lot of people have asked me where I'm from. I'm from Afghanistan, Pashtun. It's common there and also very common in other places. I don't know why people are so surprised by that practice. It's not an everyday thing, not even in Afghanistan, but definitely not unheard of. It's also not just common in Afghanistan. I have friends from Turkey and even from Bosnia who have had similar things happening in their family. I'm very surprised how some are in total disbelief about it. I know it's a weird situation, but really not that rare. Update 2. My cousin and her husband are working things out and my parents are talking to me again. My cousin also is talking to me again. She's in a way happy we're siblings. My parents are talking to me again and apologized to the both of us. My aunt is not well at all, so we're going to her house today, my cousin and I. My cousin is very obviously still hurt, but nowadays very curious. This happened over the course of 2 months. Not the a-hole. Her parents are not telling her as a child, so are your parents for not telling you either. It's almost laughable at how obvious this current outcome is. Your parents had twins, blonde twins, and they all just thought no one would freaking notice the only two blonde girls in the family have the same birthday. Well, thank God they also didn't accidentally sign you up for the same American summer camp as kids. We don't have the same birthday officially. We were born in the Middle East, so my aunt and uncle changed it when coming to the West. My aunt has lighter hair and my grandma was blonde too, so no one really questioned it, but I guess sometimes things are hidden in plain sight. The poor woman has been lied to her entire life by the people she loved. She's wrong to blame you in particular, or her husband for that matter, but all of you have fundamentally betrayed her trust, and you need not expect to hear from her again anytime soon. What you should have done is insist that your parents and her parents tell her the truth rather than you. But instead, you made this about you, not her, and now you're paying the price. She's the real victim here. I don't think she's handling it well, but I have never had my entire family turn out to be liars. So I'm not rushing to that judgment as quickly as I am for the rest of you. Who the heck gives away children? How does that go? I have 2 twin babies, but you don't have any. So here is one of my child. How is that a thing? I don't know. It's hard to explain. The thinking is you kind of keep the child. I have a lot of siblings and my mother was young, so my aunt begged my mother. I know it's weird, but the child isn't far away from home. You're the a-hole for telling her last after other people already knew. You should have told her first. You have nothing to do with making her divorce her husband. That is coming from extreme sense of betrayal from everyone. Every single person has lied to her, either since her birth or since they discovered the secret. She may feel she has no one but her baby. Why was she given away while you were kept? You seem very dismissive of the trauma incurred from learning this, as if giving a baby to a sister is not really giving it away. You indicate you had a lot of siblings. While it sounds like she grew up as an only child, there were times growing up when you both probably envied the other's life, but you have no real idea of how this news has shaken her. She is likely replaying hundreds of conversations in her head where she now realizes she was lied to. She may have asked her mom about her pregnancy with her, and her mom lied. It wasn't just one lie 25 years ago, it was a lifetime of lies. I hope you gain some empathy and understanding and can reach out to her. You didn't cause this, but you have made her feel more lonely and alone. Tell the rest of your family to stop blaming you for refusing to continue to lie and instead focus on helping getting your twin some counseling to help deal with all that she's feeling. Next story. I'm currently 18 years old and the sister I'm talking about is 28, both females. The issue consists of 2 arguments that revolve around the same day, my sister's wedding. I'll start with an introduction to the necklace. When I was 12, my grandmother from my mother's side passed away. We were extremely close as she used to babysit us almost every day since our parents returned to work late. All of the grandchildren, 5 in total, got a valuable piece of jewelry each. I got a beautiful sapphire and diamond necklace that she used to wear every day. My sister got a pair of emerald earrings. At first, my parents didn't want me to wear it in fear I may lose it, but it meant a lot to me since she always wore it, so they ended up trusting me and letting me wear it. Ever since then, I've worn it almost every day just like she used to. Now, to the helping her with her daughter introduction. When my sister was 19, she got pregnant and the father wanted absolutely nothing to do with the baby. She wanted to keep it and 9 months later gave birth to my niece. Let's call her Elle. My sister got a lot of financial support from our parents at first, but then they reduced it and told her she needed to start working for herself. So she decided to sell the earrings while she got a good job. Once Elle was 4, she decided to get a babysitter, but oh, how expensive. I wonder who could help me. Spoiler alert, it was me. So for years, I had to attend play dates that consisted of me watching Elle and making sure she behaves. Needless to say, I'm now tired of Elle, and even though I love her, the simple thought of babysitting her again annoys me. So now to the mess. My sister's wedding is next month, and one would have thought that they already had someone to take care of Elle, but no, they don't. She expected me to babysit her since we're family and I've done it before. I was obviously annoyed because she didn't even give me the chance to decline. Yesterday, she asked me if I could lend her the necklace and I said no. I took the chance to also tell her I wasn't going to babysit Elle. I'm not sure which of the 2 things made her mad the most, but she was furious. Most of the bridal party was there and they all jumped at me with different arguments and tried to convince me. I left quickly and turned off my phone since I'm 99% sure they have been texting me. My best friends S and T both think it wouldn't hurt to lend it to her just for one day, but I really don't want to. They say I'm a bad sister for not doing my best so she can have her dream wedding. The reason I don't want to lend it to her is because it's not just a necklace. She saw her earrings as something she could easily replace, but to me, this is a memory of my grandmother. I've worn it almost every day since I was 9 and lending it doesn't feel right. And for the babysitting thing, my reasons are the above ones. Not the a-hole. She's just trying to use you. And I would be worried about something happening to the necklace, so not the a-hole there either. I'm not very worried about her taking the necklace since I have it with me almost all the time, and I have a safe in my room where I keep it. Yup. Anything from losing it the day of, she didn't think the jewelry was sentimental to begin with, to declaring it belongs to her now. It's my wedding necklace. How could you think I would give it to you? As for babysitting, you said no. It's not your kid and not your responsibility. I'm guessing your parents were on your sister's side for the babysitting throughout your youth, so expect them to be on her side now. Keep the necklace in the safe at all times, and if anyone else has a key or knows the combo, maybe get a new one. Unfortunately, you can also likely be expected to be disinvited from the wedding. Sometimes it comes with the terms of not giving in to someone's demands, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. The necklace is not fancy jewelry for you for some event, as you wear it every day as part of your identity. Besides, if you do, your sister may want to keep it as I got married in it. How can I give it back? Or I deserve to have a piece of grandma too. As for her daughter, she can pay for a babysitter. She has plenty of time to find one. Why do I get the feeling that if you lend her your necklace that you won't be seeing it again? Also, with your niece, I would have thought your sister would go to each family member and ask to keep an eye on her. I'm gathering she's about 9 now, so old enough to not need too much attention. So if it's explained to her that she needs to stay with immediate family members. Not the a-hole. Your sister sounds entitled. She never had a right to demand you babysit. Good for you for pushing back. Seems like the only reason she wants you at the wedding is childcare. There really is not a point going at all. Her kid, her responsibility. I'd say if she was not a jerk before this, it would be nice to babysit for her wedding, but she burned that bridge already. We have a good relationship and I was invited to the wedding long before she asked me to babysit, but I do agree with her seeming entitled. Thanks for your judgment. Next story. Context. My mom, 46, recently separated from my dad, 51. Both of them are at fault for the separation. He cheated, then she cheated, 3 years of living in torture until she moved out in the middle of the night. She refuses to meet up with my dad until she's ready. I've been trying to help her with accommodation and plan for the future. My sister, 24, is currently earning a lot more than I. Told her she will pay for her apartment and bills. My mom also has a higher paying job for the region and is able to do that herself, but wants to save up to buy an apartment. My mom had a plan to wait a year until my youngest sister finished high school, then move to the capital to buy an apartment. Use that year to save up some cash and apply for a loan from a bank to buy an apartment in the capital. That was a good plan. It gave my other sister and I enough time to save up money and help her buy a new place. Until 2 days ago, that was the plan. Then all of a sudden, she became frantic and told us she found a place in our smaller city and that I needed to sign some documents that I would co-sign for her loan within the next day so she would get approved and buy the place as soon as possible. I told her I would look into it and let her know. She became insistent that I had to send her the documents by the end of the day or the bank would reject it. We're in Europe. First of all, the procedure for getting a loan at that specific bank is a longer process. A friend works as a risk assessment manager there, and he told me that it takes months for the loan to be approved, and according to her salary, she did not need someone to co-sign, but rather it would have been done through a mortgage on the apartment. Despite that information, she refused to acknowledge any reasonable voice, but kept insisting she needed that apartment soon. How my sister and I don't want to help her for this one thing. How she's helped us all the time. How she sacrificed everything for us, gave us everything. Had to get a loan for our education, which is not true. My sister and I got full ride scholarships and jobs during our education. She would give us 100 euros 2 times a year when visiting. After I completed my bachelor's degree, I became completely financially independent. Seeing as housing prices have been going through the roof and return rates on loans have never been higher, I told her that it's not wise to buy that apartment in our town as it would not keep its value. It's better to stick to the original plan. She became totally, for the lack of a better word, crazy. I don't mean it in a derogatory sense. Rather, she started shouting and having a mental breakdown. I really didn't know what to do to calm her down. The conversation happened over the phone. She cuts me off and blocks me on all social media and refuses to talk to me or have contact. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. This sudden sense of urgency combined with an unusual and intense sales pitch, her skipping past logical discussions and shortcutting to guilt trips is a red flag she could be getting scammed. Because wise choices about complicated, expensive, and long-term finance arrangements don't generally occur under speedy pressure cooker circumstances, a fact that scammers like to use to their advantage. So I would slow your part in all this way down. Advise her to do the same and read and investigate everything twice. Maybe consult with an attorney too. Whatever it takes to either confirm or deny whether alarm bells are warranted. And mom may not appreciate your reaction up front. Sounds like she's pretty wound up as is, but she'll thank you later if you save her from getting defrauded. Not the a-hole. This seems fishy. Has she started dating anyone? The time after divorce can be a challenging one mentally and emotionally, and I've often heard friends describe it as a blur. Everything previously stable becomes unmoored, even your own perception of yourself, and people feel driven to prove they're attractive and have worth. This can lead to impulsive and poor decision making in choosing new partners. She might be in a new relationship in your city and feels desperate to lock it down. Not the a-hole. This screams scam to me. I think your mother has been manipulated by someone trying to make quick money. It's classic scammer behavior to convince their victims that time is running out to buy what is either A, a property in worse state than advertised, B, a property that is not actually for sale and or theirs to sell, or C, the property doesn't even exist. Example, being sold apartment 221 when the apartment building only goes to 220. I'm guessing your mother was freaking out because the seller has been telling her that another buyer is very interested in the property, and if she doesn't get the payment, then they'll accept the other party's offer. Not the a-hole. It's really unreasonable to expect you to co-sign a loan sight unseen. That's a huge financial commitment for something so sketchy, and your mom is an a-hole for trying to guilt you into it. She reminds me of my own mom. I eventually had to go no contact because I couldn't handle her BS anymore. Be careful, original poster, and stay in touch with your sister so she doesn't get guilted into it either. I would leave her alone to calm down whilst at the same time checking on her via your other siblings. Co-signing a loan does not sound like a good idea given what you said. If she will not fully explain things or listen to suggestions, then I would stand firm. Good luck.